A while back I tried to make some Mexican street corn ice cream and it was a total disaster. It had good consistency, but it tasted terrible. So I've been thinking about what I did wrong and what I did right, and I want to try it again. So I decided today I'm going to make a sweet corn saffron ice cream. My base is going to have buttermilk and regular milk and probably a little bit of cream. I'm going to mix up the flavors and decide what I'm going to put in it after I get my base ready. But I'm going to start by cooking my corn in the milk and buttermilk and putting the saffron in. I'm going to get it heated up, and when I say cooking my corn, I'm going to take it off the cob and leave the cobs in there. And then I'm going to soak it overnight. I'm going to start by adding my milk to a saucepan. I'd say about a cup. But I'm just estimating, I'm not measuring because it doesn't have to be exact. And then I'm going to add my buttermilk, about the same amount. I probably should have shaken that before I put it in. So shake it. Yep, a little bit thicker. Now I'm going to add my corn cobs. I use 2 corn cobs. I'm just going to put them in here. I'm going to turn on the heat. Medium heat. I'm probably not going to need all the corn from 2 corn cobs. I'm going to save one of them for something else. So I'm just going to put the kernels in of about 1 of the corn cobs. So that's about that much, and I'll just reserve the rest. And then I will add my saffron. Saffron's really strong, so you don't need very much. If you put too much, it's going to make the flavor too perfumey. But if you don't put enough, you're not going to be able to taste it in your ice cream. So what I'm going to do is start with this much. After I cook this and soak it overnight, I'm going to taste it and see if I can taste the corn and if I can taste the saffron, and I'll adjust my seasonings based on that. If the corn flavor is infused a lot into the milk, I will just take the corn out and not use it. If I don't really taste the corn, I'm going to grind it up in the bullet and put it through, strain it to get just the, to get all the husks out. So I'm going to cook this until it heats up, and then I'm going to take it off the heat and just let it sit in a refrigerator overnight. Now that my corn mixture has marinated overnight, I'm going to put it through the bullet, blend it up, and then strain it. Now I've blended this, and I'm just going to put it through the strainer. Now I'm ready to add my sweetener. You can add regular sugar or monk fruit sweetener. I'm adding Splenda, but I'm also going to add a little bit of honey because I want it to have, I don't want it to have too much of an artificial sweetener flavor. I know that's kind of hard to not have when you're using Splenda, but I want it to have like a taste like when you're having a corn cake, something like that. I definitely want it to have the corn flavor, but I want it to taste like ice cream as well. I'm adding a little bit of vanilla. Before I add my saffron, I'm going to taste it again. After I get all my vanilla, I'm adding vanilla bean paste as well. Kind of gives it some dimension. Just a little dollop. I'm going to add a little bit more buttermilk, but I'm going to shake it up first. I'm going to add a tiny bit of cottage cheese, mainly because it's an emulsifier, and I want to make sure that this blends up nicely. Maybe like 2 scoops, very small scoops. A little bit of milk. There was already milk in there. that when I cooked it with the corn, but I just wanted to add a little bit more. Now I'm going to stir it up, and then I'm going to taste it. I decided to blend this one more time because the last time I tried to make this, I think I made a couple mistakes. One, I didn't make it smooth enough. There were little chunks of corn still in there. And the second thing is, I decided to put tequila in there. I have no idea why. So this sweet corn ice cream, I think it's going to be a lot better flavored. As I was stirring it, I took a few tastes. It's got a little bit of saffron in it. It's got a little bit of sugar, a little bit of honey. I think it's going to be good. I'm ready to freeze it now. I'm going to make a little honey glaze to go on top of my corn ice cream. So I'm going to start by turning the heat on, medium heat, adding a little bit of butter. I'm going to let that heat up, and then I'm going to add my honey, my half and half, a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of salt, and I haven't decided if I'm going to include a little bit of alcohol that will melt off. I'm going to take a look at the cabinet and see if something would go good with the corn ice cream. Okay, the butter has melted, and I decided to add a little bit of bourbon to my honey glaze. So I'm going to add that in now. I'm not trying to flambe, just trying to make a nice sauce. If it does flame, it's okay. It's totally fine. Kind of makes a good show, but it's not necessary. So I've got my butter and my bourbon. Now I'm ready to add my honey. I didn't measure it. I would say that was probably about a tablespoon. I'm just going to kind of circle it around, and I'll grab a spoon. Stir it all together. Then I'm going to add my half and half. I'm going to add a little at a time. I'd say it's probably about a quarter cup total that I have in here. I'm going to let this cook down a little bit before I add more. And I want to add a little bit of vanilla bean paste. Oops. Added a little bit too much, but that's okay. What we'll do is we'll stir it up. We'll add more half and half. And we'll taste it. And we can always dilute it if it's too strong with the vanilla taste. Okay, the sauce is cooked down for about 10 minutes and it's created a nice glaze. And I was worried that there was too much vanilla, but it actually tastes pretty good. I think it'll be nice as a sauce. If I put that much vanilla in the ice cream, it wouldn't be good. But in a sauce, you kind of want the flavors to be more pronounced. So it's really good. If it was too strong, what I would do is probably put some more butter, put some more half and half in there, and make a bigger amount. But this is actually pretty good. So I'm ready to spin my ice cream. After freezing this, it had a little bit of a lump on it, but I just scraped it off with a spoon. And now I'm ready to spin this on ice cream full. Let's take a look. It's got ice crystals, which is totally normal. So what I'm going to do is just go around the sides with a spoon and decide if I need some liquid. I think it's going to be okay. I would say let's do a respin. After respinning that, It looks perfect, and now I'm ready to scoop. Sorry, the background has some coffee going because I thought this corn ice cream needed a little accompaniment of some coffee. I'm just going to do one scoop. Oh, it scooped out perfectly. So I've got the right consistency, and this is my honey glaze I'm going to pour over the top. It looks beautiful. So now it's time to taste. It's good. It's much better than my last corn attempt. It's got a little bit of saffron. It definitely has a corn taste, but it's just sweet enough, and the caramel sauce is delicious. Or it's not caramel sauce, it's honey glaze, but it's delicious.